Hey guys, Mighty Imitation here. I'm back today with a new guide of how to basically shiny hunt non-promotional Gmax Pokemon. There's basically been a discovery, it was literally yesterday, of the RNG, if you're familiar with that term. The random number generator is basically what determines what Pokemon will show up. I have made an RNG guide on Emerald before, you can check that out. But it basically determines whether you'll find a shiny Pokemon or not. And so we now basically understand how these Pokemon are generated in these raids, and because of that, you can abuse it. Just like all the other methods in the past, you can actually find shinies completely guaranteed by basically knowing which Pokemon are going to appear at a certain time. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're basically going to talk about how you can use this knowledge that they've discovered about finding shiny Pokemon in these raids, how you can actually use it to your advantage to hunt shiny Gmax Pokemon, the rare, non-promotional, the 1% chance of appearing Gmax Pokemon. We can actually now, because of what we've just discovered, we can hunt these Pokemon and guarantee ourselves that we'll find a shiny version of them. So I'm just basically gonna go into it real quick about how it works. So you can see right here, I'm saved in front of a promotional den because I'm hunting the promotional Gmaxs right now. This was created with a wishing star. You do need to do the wishing star method. You need to throw in a wishing star for this method if you don't want to be chasing around the beams like I made in a previous video, because we've now discovered that, you know, for Gmax Pokemon you don't need to chase them around. But what I'm about to go into right now, you can do with any single Pokemon. So you can basically find any raid Pokemon in the wild area shiny. Any Pokemon you want, pick your target, but you're gonna need to do it with a wishing star den. So throw in the piece, have the beam appear, save in front of it, and then you can do this method. So what I'm doing right now, I have the Gmax Corviknight. You can see it's a 3-star. I've already checked it, it's not shiny. So the way it works, guys, is that the Pokemon that you'll find that when you raid reset, the first 3 Pokemon, this being the first, are actually already determined. So this is a Corviknight. Now if I go and do the raid reset method, except obviously I'm doing it one hand, so you'll have to forgive me. It's a little bit slower than I'd like, but obviously when you guys do it, it's going to be much faster. So right, so I've just changed the day by 1. If I go into it, right, you can see that I've got a regular Center Scorch. So this is my second Pokemon. So now if I go and I change the date again, there we go. So I've changed it. This is the second time now. So now you can see I've got a 5-star Gmax Center Scorch. Now we know that the first 3 Pokemon I'm always going to find are a Corviknight, a normal Center Scorch, and a Gmax Center Scorch. From starting at that save point, from booting up the game at that save point, I'm always going to find those 3 Pokemon. And you'll see that in a sec. But if I then reset a 3rd time, oh sorry, I forgot to invite others. That always helps. That's what happens, guys, when you use one hand. It's not the best. But hey, this is a Switch Lite, so I can't use a capture card, even if I wanted to. Okay. So, we've now done 3 raid resets. We've seen the Corviknight, the normal Center Scorch, the Gmax Center Scorch, and this is a normal Snorlax. So what we would do now is we would check this Snorlax. I'm not going to though. We would check this Snorlax and we would actually see if it's shiny or not. I'm saying I'm not going to because I don't want to find a normal Snorlax shiny. But we could check this right now, and then if it's not shiny, then what we would do is we would basically reset the game. So now we've got the Corviknight again, and we would basically go back to where we found the Snorlax. So we would do 3 more raid resets. So this is 1. You see I've got the normal Center Scorch again. So the next one's going to be the Gmax Center Scorch. There's the Gmax. It's also going to have the same star rating as well. So you see the last time it was 5-star, it's 5-star now. Those Pokemon are always going to be the same. And now you see the Snorlax is back, which is unfortunate because I can't remember what the previous star rating was. I don't think it was a 5-star though, but that's just a coincidence that the Snorlax is back. I'm going to prove that to you right now by resetting again. I don't think the Snorlax was 5-star before, but just in case I'm going to do this one more time. So, just reset 3 times again. If anything, this is just more proof that everything changes, I guess. Okay, there's our 5-star Center Scorch again. So this next one, unless I'm incredibly unlucky, this next one shouldn't be Snorlax, is what I'm trying to show. Right, it's not. It's a Gmax Snorlax this time. It's 5-star. So this Pokemon is exactly the same as the previous one. So it's the same as the regular Snorlax. If it was shiny before, it's going to be shiny now. But let's say we checked the last one, it wasn't shiny. That means that this one is always going to be not shiny. It's always going to be exactly the same as the previous one. So what you'd want to do is you'd want to come out of that. You'd want to save the game. I'm not going to because I'm hunting right now, but you'd want to save the game, and then you'd want to do another 3 raid resets. And then what that does is that basically creates a new starting point, where our starting point becomes this Gmax Snorlax right now. And then that means that when we raid reset an additional 3 times after this, you'll find a completely new Pokemon. And obviously right now we would, if we were to save the game right now and then raid reset 3 more times, we could check that Pokemon, and if it wasn't shiny, then all we need to do is we'd need to reset back to this point, back to this Snorlax, and then do exactly what we just did. Just reset back to the Pokemon, so the 8th Pokemon that we've seen, save in front of it. That creates a new starting point, and then we would just do 3 more raid resets, and then we would check that Pokemon, so that becomes our 12th Pokemon, and we would just keep going up by 4s and just soft resetting, saving before the Pokemon after we've checked it shiny. So we're basically getting to that Pokemon twice, and then, you know, eventually we'll find a shiny. When we do actually find a shiny, because that 4th Pokemon always changes. You see it changed into the Gmax Snorlax from a previous regular Snorlax. Because it is completely random, it changes every time. If we were doing this on a regular Gmax beam, then we would find a, you know, eventually we would find a 1% Gmax on our shiny Pokemon, and so we would get a shiny 1% Gmax. But we need to find the shiny first. We find the shiny. Once we found it, great. Then we just keep resetting until that Pokemon magically transforms into the Gmax. So there's a visual representation of what's going on for you guys. I did create a guide as well on Reddit, but people asked me to make this video, so I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them. I know RNG can be very complicated, but this is good news, guys. This basically means that when you're hunting for that 1% Gmax, you don't need to hunt for the 1% anymore. You can just hunt for a regular shiny. All you need to do is 3 raid resets, and then just keep remembering to do 3 raid resets, save after you've checked it. So you soft reset if it's not shiny, you go back, do three raid resets, go back to the Pokemon you just checked, then you save again. Always important to remember to do that. And yeah, I hope you guys, if you try this, I hope you find something. This is my Team Mutation. Take care, guys.